Hi, I'm Senator Aaron Osmond. I'd like to take a few minutes and talk with you about Senate Bill 97, Property Tax Equalization. The purpose of this bill is to address an ongoing inequity in our local property tax revenue. Over the last many years, I've attempted to address this problem, but the challenge has always been, how do we address property tax inequity without creating the Robin Hood effect, taking money from one district and giving it to another? I think I have a solution under this bill. The challenge of local property tax revenue is that 40% of our local property tax revenues actually are used to fund public education. But every single district has a very different ability to be able to generate revenue. In some of our districts, they have a very high overall property rate, and they have a very low taxing rate that can generate a significant amount of revenue per student. In other districts, though, we have the opposite problem, with very low overall property values and a very high taxing rate, but very little revenue on a per student basis. So for example, the Jordan School District, we generate about $1,500 or $1,600 per student in local property tax revenue. But in Park City, we generate over $6,500 in local property tax revenue. Ironically, we say to all of our charter schools across the state, you know what, we're going to guarantee you a minimum of $1,746 per student. They're guaranteed because they can't generate their own local property taxes. But we don't do that for half of our school districts across the state. Many of our school districts are really struggling because of this inequity. And the only way to address it is to find a way to adequately fund property tax equalization. Well, in my mind, the best way to do that is to generate more revenue from our current state property tax, the basic property tax rate. We have not adjusted that basic property tax rate since 1980. In fact, since we made that particular rate revenue neutral back in 1986, we've not adjusted it at all for the effect of inflation. When you go back and look at that effect of inflation, that potential revenue from just adjusting the property tax rate from inflation, including growth, would be $182 million. We're going to just do it purely on the impact of inflation itself, generating approximately $78 million. And in the bill, we're only capturing $75 million of that. We're going to take that $75 million, which is revenue from the state property tax rate, and we're going to fund existing statutory programs, the Capital Outlay Foundation Program and the Capital Outlay Enrollment Growth Program, as well as the Voted Leeway Guarantee Program. These programs were established years ago for the purpose of funding property tax equalization to ensure every student has at least as much revenue as our local charter school students, for both M&O, or the operations of our budgets, and capital for the building of buildings and maintenance of buildings. That is the purpose of Senate Bill 97. It will introduce $75 million worth of new money. It will be, in fact, an increase in revenue for public education, and it will adequately fund school districts that are struggling today to meet the minimum education revenue that they need to run their public schools. I hope you'll support Senate Bill 97, and if you have more questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to spend more time explaining the details of the bill. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.